Here I am on Dromenkos in Star Wars The Old Republic with one of my characters, an Imperial operative, and what I want to do in this video is go over the outfit designer, a somewhat recent addition to the game, and it's a really nice one, I think, especially because I always get a kick out of having different looks for my characters, and in the past it was pretty expensive to do so, because you had to completely modify a second set of armor to get that look. I'll explain what I mean. This is your character sheet, and this is really all we had in the past was what you see right here, and the toggle from Customize Appearance to your stats. Customize Appearance in the past is limited to matching the color of your armor to the color of your chest piece, which could be altered by placing dies in the chest piece, and you could hide the head slot if you wanted. But that was about it. That was really all. If you wanted more armor, you had to get the armoring, modification, enhancements, augments, everything you wanted to have for your stats, you had to put in there. Outfit Designer almost completely negates that. You can now get any look you want. You can have one set of armor that is your real performing stats, and the the Outfit Designer will override the appearance of that when you want to. I don't really like the Ziost armor look. I don't hate it, but it just doesn't match my taste. And I've gone to town and I've added 8 slots. By default, I believe you begin with 1 or 2 Outfit Designer slots. If you want to add more, you look for the plus button. There's these up and down arrows you will see to the right of your character sheet that will scroll along your available Outfit Designer slots. The add button, the little plus button, will be at the bottom of your list. So if you only have 2, it'll be visible all the time. I've got 8 now, so I had to scroll down. You click that plus button, you get a window asking you if you want to add for character, for account, if you want to pay with cartel coins or in-game credits. It does get more expensive the more outfits you add. I believe there's a maximum of 16 outfit slots you can have. I'm not going to add one now, but that's how you do it. So, let me show you some of this gear. Here is my number 1 slot. Now, this tells me this is active. You can see that, perhaps you can see that the gear I'm wearing, what I'm displaying in World, matches what's in my character sheet, my default gear. That tells me this is active. Up at the top of the character sheet, it says that's active. Now, if I go into an Outfit Designer slot, it's asking me if I want to apply one of these gear appearances. I'm going to do that. I'm going to click Apply, and it changes me to another look, and it tells me that that is active. And also, you'll notice that tab remains lit up. Even if I look at other Outfit Designer slots, if I look at my actual character sheet, that number 1 stays lit up green, telling me that that is where my active, appearance happens to be at the moment. So this is all medium armor. 2 pieces are actually Imperial Agent exclusive pieces of armor. And what I think I should talk about right now are the potential restrictions on what you can do with Outfit Designer. They are not too severe. Basically what Outfit Designer will do, aside from allowing you to have armor here, you will see that there's no stats now in Outfit Designer. When I mouse over these things, they're irrelevant. So you can have a level 1 piece of gear here. It doesn't hurt you at all. You only have the appearance. Restrictions for weight are now gone. For instance, the Imperial Agent could only wear medium or light armor in the past. You couldn't wear anything higher than your highest armor rating. For the Imperial Agent, the highest armor rating was medium. And it would really not make any sense to wear light armor, even if you liked the appearance, because you're giving up the damage mitigation. It's the passive mitigation of medium armor for light armor. So really just was not smart to do it. Now it doesn't matter. You can put anything in here. You could put a level 1 light armored boots if you want, and it doesn't affect anything other than your appearance. You can also go up now, which you could never do. You could never wear heavy armor on an Imperial Agent in the past, but now you can do that. You can actually put heavy armor into an Outfit Designer slot, and I have done that on a couple of this one. Let me apply this. This actually is a heavy armor helmet. I couldn't equip that normally, but in Outfit Designer it allows me to do that. Now there is a version of this helmet in the world that you can find in the GTN that has a further restriction, and that is a bounty hunter restriction. There's another version of this that can only be worn by a bounty hunter, and even Outfit Designer will ignore that. You won't be able to equip it unless you are in fact a bounty hunter class. And what I did down here on my number 8 slot, I made a Mandalorian sort of look. I went for Mandalorian armor to give this look to my Imperial agent. And what's kind of cool about this, too, is that most of this stuff cost 100 credits, 200 credits. Now, I couldn't find this chest in a green quality. I couldn't find it cheap. It still wasn't allowed to. I think it was 15,000 credits. It's a modifiable chest. I did use an adaptive belt and an adaptive pair of bracers just because I had them. But the boots, the pants, the gloves, the helmet, they're all green. Nothing was more than, I think the helmet might have been 1,000 credits, because I think it was a level 50 green helmet. But anyway, it was very cheap. I didn't have to go and get anything real expensive for it. There are typically in the world, in the game, modifiable versions of these same pieces of armor, which cost more money. They cost more to craft. Tactically, they're actually better. These are not high-quality pieces at all in terms of stats, but since the Outfit Designer ignores stats, you can go as cheap as you can possibly can. You can really shop for price with it and make it very cheap. And let's see what else, if there's anything else in here that I wanted to show you. Okay, one other thing that works just like your regular gear. If you want to match to your chest slot in Outfit Designer, you got to make sure that every slot is full. If you were just to make an outfit, and let's say you just wanted to change a helmet, let's say you liked this, the default Zayast armor, and you wanted to have a set of armor in Outfit Designer that had a different headpiece to it. So you could go into the Outfit Designer, and let's say you just added a helmet and left all this blank. It seems to work, because what happens, a blank Outfit Designer slot will show your default armor. Will show all this here unless you replace a piece. So if I took all these out and just put a helmet here, you would just have the helmet that I added, and all of this would simply show what was on my actual armor sheet, my actual character sheet. But the difference is, if I went to unify colors, that helmet would not unify, because there's really no chest to match to. Likewise, even if I put a chest in here, if I put a chest and I put a helmet, I put boots, anything that was not in here would not match the chest. So you do have to really fill all these slots to get all the colors to unify. Not too bad a restriction, but it is something to keep in mind. That's really about it. The only other thing you may have problems with in obtaining a look, for instance, let me go back to my Mandalorian operative here. If I wanted this look on the Republic, it would be harder to get, because I could, on the GTN, buy these same green pieces of gear. I could buy all these same pieces of gear. However, they will look different on the Republic side. They would get a sort of Republic Trooper sort of look. The only way around that would be to shop the GTN for cartel market items. There are some cartel market adaptive armor, Mandalorian style gear, but they're pretty expensive usually. They'll be much more expensive than just finding cheap green gear in the GTN. But you could get around it by doing that. You could actually get a Mandalorian look on your Republic character by going on the GTN and looking for cartel market items. Aside from that, there's really no other restrictions. You can look like a Sith, you can look like a Mandalorian, you look like a gunslinger. You can pretty much do whatever you want now without worrying about actually making the armor have valuable stats to it, because all your stats will come from the actual armor on your character sheet. And that's about it. I hope this helped. Hoping I didn't skip over anything that I take for granted, having used this for a while now. And hope you enjoyed it.